Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho, aka Toho Sniper 98. So this is going to be month 1 of the Whales log for Genshin Impact. Some of you guys may have expected me to make something like this. I was actually sitting on this idea for the past month or so that I've been playing Genshin, wondering to myself if I really wanted to do something like this. But hey, free content is free content, and yeah, I won't say no to that. Especially considering all the fucking other content that other Genshin YouTubers are making and calling that content. So I think this isn't so bad, all things considered. But anyways, especially because I've done it before for other games. But let me get some things out of the way, some disclaimers, if you will. First, this is going to be a very long video, as you might imagine, just because of the nature of how I do these kinds of Whales log type videos anyway. So there's your warning. You have been warned. Second of all, I should explain what Whales log is for those of you guys who are newer to the channel, because this is Genshin Impact, right? I'm going to get at least some new faces around here when I'm covering Genshin content. So Whales log is a bit of a series that I started with other gacha games starting 3 years ago with Fate Grand Order. I also expanded it recently to Arknights as well, though I call it Dolphins Log and Arknights because I don't whale as much. But then, on second thought, I probably should have called it Whales Log given how much I spent on Arknights already, but can't change that by now. But I will call this one Whales Log because I feel like Genshin is also going to be taking a lot of my money. Yeah, I think that was pretty obvious. But that aside, what I'm actually doing with Whales Log, or what I intend to do with it, probably should answer that too, right? Is it's actually two things. One, obviously, it's to flex. You don't do this not to flex, because if you do this and you say you're not, then you're obviously fucking lying. So I'll just come clean right now and tell you guys that yes, this is my way of flexing. As much as it is flexing, as you can imagine, I guess. To some of you, maybe, to others, it might. But the other purpose is more of like a personal progress record of sorts, because the other big example that I do this for is FGO, Fate Grand Order, where I've been doing a Whales log series for the past literally 3 years, ever since the game came out for the English server, or the North American server, technically. I've been making, every month, I put out a video on, like, hey, this is my progress that I made on my FGO account so far, blah, blah, blah. I've rolled for these characters, I've leveled these skills, blah, 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 blah. You can imagine what I talk about. So in Genshin, I want to do more or less the same thing because, you know, the progress reminds me a lot of what I used to do back in Fate Grand Order, back when that was a new game 3 years ago. So it's definitely bringing back some good memories, at least on my end. And we'll see how long I can keep this up for. Hopefully for a long time. But only time will tell, right? So, third of all, I also want to explain a few things as we go, just to lay the groundwork for the rest of the video. Actually, you know what? I'll explain that as we go. I'll explain that as we get into the actual characters themselves and as I show you my progress. So first things first, let's go over the characters. The only two characters that I'm missing currently are Chi-Chi and Chongyun. Well, at the time of this recording, Zhongli's out, so I obviously don't have him right now, as you can see, because I haven't rolled for him yet. I will roll for him very soon. I don't know if it's going to be this week. It should be this week. I just don't know how soon, though. Either if it's going to be tomorrow or 2 days from now. We'll just have to see. But by the time next month rolls around, I make another Whales log for Genshin Impact next month. You should expect Zhongli and everybody else to be here, along with Chongyun, actually, because Chongyun is on raid up along with Zhongli, so I should expect to get at least one copy of him. So yeah, but at the moment I am missing Chi-Chi, Zhongli as the 5 stars, and Xinyun and Chongyun as the 2 4 stars. I believe that's all I'm missing. Yeah. So that's that for the characters. So this is the third thing I wanted to talk about that I changed my mind about just before we got into the characters. If you'll notice, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters at level 80. I think that's the cutoff, yeah, because from here on out it's 70. So I have 10 characters all leveled up to 80. The reason for this is because actually of my gacha game background. I play 4 other gacha games, so I bring Genshin is my 5th. Fate Grand Order being the first one, then followed by Girls Frontline, then Azure Lane, and then Arknights, and then Genshin. So those 5. And in all these previous gacha games, I've developed the habit of leveling the characters because that's usually what's most important. FGO, like, I don't need to repeat the fucking game names again like I was about to, you guys get the picture. In Genshin Impact, it's a bit different. One huge reason is because we're obviously limited on how many times we can refresh for stamina a day. And in Genshin Impact, once you're done with all the side story shit and, you know, the actual quote-unquote content, all that's left to do is just grind, right? Artifacts, gear, essential materials for both your gear and your characters, blah 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 blah, and they all take stamina. Or in Genshin Impact, it's called resin. It's called resin, right? So you're kind of gated by that. And on top of that, because the game just came out, you're limited on how many times you can refresh a day. If you're a whale and you want to fucking refill with you know, Prima Gems. Which is what I do because I'm a fucking whale. What do you think this series is called? So yeah, obviously there's only so much progress you can get done in a given period of time. And and remember, I started this game, well, not a lot of you will know. I'm saying remember as if you guys know. I should tell you guys that I started this game about a week or 2 later after all the other hardcore players, after all the other, you know, content creators who started playing this game day 1, and or they were also a closed beta tester like Demon Kim or whoever else CBT'd for this. So I am a week or 2 behind everybody else who takes this game seriously and makes content for it for the most part. So those 2 facts combined, and I decided to, well, not just decided to, I ended up leveling 10 different characters, and they're all sitting at level 80. As I just said like 10 minutes ago, because I love fucking being redundant. You'll notice that redundancy is a bad habit of mine. If I do these videos that don't have a script attached to them, or that don't have a script that I've written for them. But I like to hammer that home, because if you think about it, right? If most people do not have like 10 separate characters all up to level 80, and then a few more who are at 70. You know, these 2, MC and Barbara, are both at 70. I could get them to level 80 if I really wanted to. But I decided that having just these 10 is good enough for now. Okay, Barbara, you're very cute. So if you think about it, right, like I said, if I spent so many resources on actually leveling the character themselves, what do you think is missing, right? Well, for one, I don't have a lot of good weapons. Actually, instead of showing you my weapon list through that, let me go to inventory real quick. I can just show you. Like, these are all the weapons I have. I roll for characters mainly, not necessarily for weapons. I've rolled Weapon Banner a couple times, as you can tell, because I have Memory of Dust. And this is also a habit that I picked up from my other gacha games, where you only really roll for the characters in those other games. Genshin Impact is, I believe, the first gacha game that I'm playing that actually has a Weapon Banner, or you can gacha for weapons specifically. And for the most part, you know, if you want 5-star weapons, that's where you're going to get them, right? From either the Wanderlust Invocation, which I'll just call the story gacha, because that's another habit that I picked up from FGO, calling a story gacha. Or from the dedicated weapons banners, weapons gachas. So, yeah, I don't really roll those. I only rolled them a couple times. But for the most part, I just roll for the characters. Because I'm of the mindset that I would rather have the characters but not have top-tier weapons, or 5-star weapons at least, instead of the other way around, which is having, you know, top-tier weapons but not the characters. Because the characters are more important, at least to me. You may disagree, or you may feel differently. But yeah, that, and you'll notice that as we talk about my artifact sets, that my artifact sets are not the greatest. Currently, Mona, Kuching, Dialect, or D-Luke, I think his name is properly pronounced, in case I trigger some people with incorrect pronunciation. Jean and Venti, only these 5 have any sort of, like, you know, dedicated artifact builds on them, and they're not even finalized. They could be much better. Beto's next one up that I'm working on getting her artifact set up to snuff. I'm currently looking for another timepiece, a better timepiece than this with better substats, but I'm just gonna keep farming Noblesse dungeons until I can pick one up for her. And I am also working on building a support child artifact set with a 4-piece Noblesse on him, and I've decided on these pieces for now. But again, since I want to go back and, you know, keep farming out Noblesse dungeons for more Noblesse artifacts, this is still a work in progress, as you can tell by all the levels that he doesn't have on his artifacts. But let's go down the line. I think that's much better. So Mona, my favorite character, mi waifu, if you must insist. This is what she's working with. Details. I'll let you take a look at these on your own. I thought she had a higher crit rate than that last time I checked. I think she was supposed to have a 25%. Maybe it was always 21%. I don't know. But in any case, we can check our artifacts again later on. But yeah, these are stats that she's working with. Weapon, she has a level 80 R2 Witsith. Because initially with Mona, at the beginning of the game when I first got her, I treated her more as a support. I had her use an R5 level 40 Thrilling Tales. And so, you know, use her as a support like that, like I just said. But eventually I transitioned to a more DPS style with her. Because eventually I wanted to be able to play a DPS Mona. And luckily enough for me, I was able to get 2 copies of the Witsith over my very few times rolling weapons banners. So I got pretty lucky in that respect. So now shut up, tablet. Shut up, phone. So I can finally at least, attempt a DPS Mona. Ideally, obviously, when we go into her artifacts, ideally I would want to give her a higher crit rate to also go with her massive crit damage she gets from Witsith. But again, we'll talk about that as we go over artifacts. So this is the artifact set I'm working with Mona right now. 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Gladiators. I know this is not ideal, but at the time that I was working on Mona's artifacts, that was when I was just starting out on seriously building artifact sets for my characters. Because let me go back to what I was explaining about earlier about how there can only be so many resources that I could have gathered in the short period of time that I've been playing. And why I have, and the consequences of having 10 different level 80 characters, right, is that those resources that I put into leveling all those characters, I didn't put them, or at least not some of them, into getting good artifacts, earlier, right? Because any amount of artifact farming that you do is always helpful, as long as you're at, AR45 and doing the level 90 dungeons for at least at least one guaranteed gold artifact per run type deal. So yeah, so at the time, Mona was the first character that I actually seriously built an artifact set for, so I didn't have a lot of choices at the time. I could probably give her something better now, but I kind of want to wait, because her artifact set is, quote, good enough for what I want her for what I'm using her for. I would like to give other characters some artifact sets first, before I return to Mona and revisit her artifact set and, revise it, make it better, improve it with better artifacts that I've hopefully been able to farm along the way. But this is what I've got. Let's see. Let's go into the artifacts individually, because I know you guys love seeing the artifacts individually. This is by far her best artifact. I was very lucky to get this very early on in my artifact farming. It's a hydro damage bonus Bloodstain. This is her off piece, as you can tell, with double energy and crit rate. Obviously, it would have been nice if the HP rolled something else, like attack percent or something like that, but beggars can't be choosers. So this is what I'm working with. This is what she's working with for now. This gives her a huge chunk of her damage, which is very nice. So I'm very happy that I was able to get that cup. Two-piece Glad, these are both purple pieces because, again, at the time, these were my best options for her when I was working on these. Double crit, at least, with energy recharge, because Mona scales her normal attacks and her charge attack, I believe, scale off of energy recharge. So, again, for the third time, at the time, this was my best energy recharge timepiece. Along with the Gladiator Feather with double energy and attack percent. And these are two noblesse pieces, the Flower with crit rate and double energy, and the Mask with attack percent, energy recharge, and crit damage. Now, as I've been working on artifacts, and I've been streaming this too, by the way, so shameless plug, I stream over on twitch.tv/ToastSniper98. Come check me out if you want to watch me stream some Genshin from time to time. But yeah, as I've been, learning how to build artifacts, learning how the artifact system, right? The substats, the artifacts themselves, the different categories of them. I've come to realize that, generally speaking, for DPS type characters, you're looking for circlets to have crit rate, because I believe circlets are the only artifact category or artifact type that can actually roll crit rate, or even crit damage for that matter. My Mona already has a huge chunk of crit damage coming from her wit set, so ideally I would want to have her. I want to look for a replacement for this that has crit rate instead, and maybe maybe be able to slip in attack percent somewhere else. Actually, I don't think so, because like I just said earlier, Mona scales off of energy recharge. So I think her timepiece needs to stay energy recharge. So unfortunately, we can't. Mona kind of has to skimp out on attack percent, but I think that's how you have to do it. That, and of course these two are purple pieces, so ideally I want to get gold pieces to replace these two. But that'll come later. But the most important thing right now is finding Mona a crit rate main stat circlet, preferably a noblesse mask, so that she has the crit rate to go with her insanely huge crit damage. But this is the best that I got for now. It still serves it well, of course, because it's still attack percent. That's basically over 45% extra damage right there from attack percent main stat. But again, that is an area of improvement that I could put that Mona has. But again, I'll worry about that later, because I want to concentrate on other characters right now, because I'm building them for Abyss, or at least I'm trying to. Huh? Anyways, Constellation, she is C0. I got very lucky when I got Mona in the first place, because I believe I got her during my very first whaling session, when I finally broke my free-to-play status on Genshin Impact, as hard as that is to believe, because I played the first week or so of this game totally free-to-play, like unironically free-to-play. But I knew I was gonna whale at some point, and I finally broke free-to-play and became a whale for good. Ha 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 ha. Unlimited power. But yes. And anyways, back to the story of how I got Mona in the first place. That was back when Venti was still on rate up, and I got a copy of Venti and Mona at the same time, and a double SSR rate up. I believe my highlights for that are on my YouTube channel. You're watching my YouTube channel right now, so you can go to my channel and watch them. Go back a bit in my video history, and you should be able to find the gacha highlights for that. See the exact moment I did get Mona, but I haven't gotten a spook by her since, so she's at C0. Her talents are all at 5. You'll notice that for all the characters that I plan to take seriously, or that I plan to use seriously, either in Abyss or in my main teams or whatnot, I have gotten their talents that are able to be leveled, if there's even a word for that, all the way to at least 5. So you'll notice that that's a recurring theme across all the characters that I wanted to level up. At least 5. As you can see, there you go. Anyways, let's move on to Kuching. So this is Kuching's stats right now. Again, you can pause the video to take a better look at them if you'd like. I'm very proud of this, actually. 58% crit rate, along with about just under 130% crit damage. It's very nice. Though I'm sure I could like squeeze a bit more crit damage into there somehow, but we'll see. Again, these artifact sets are not finalized, still work in progress. Weapons. So she's got Black Sword because, as I will show you, I have no 5-star sword or 5-star one-hander. I don't have Aquila Favonia. I don't have Skyward Sword or whatever the fuck. Black Sword is literally the best sword that I have, and obviously this comes from the Battle Pass. And I spent both battle passes on 2 copies of Black Sword just so that I can increase its refinement, Keqing's Black Sword's refinement rank. So all for the Queen, as some people call her. But I don't regret it because Keqing is definitely one of my strongest characters. And so anything I can do to make her stronger, I'll gladly take. So artifacts. She has 2-piece Bloodstain, 2-piece Noblesse. This is still a what's the phrase I'm looking for? A placeholder artifact set. This is not a permanent one by any means. The reason why I went for a 2-piece Bloodstain, I know some of you guys, especially some of you Keqing mains, are gonna raise your eyebrows. It's like, huh? Why are you using a 2-piece Bloodstain with 2-piece Noblesse? My original intention was to actually go a hybrid 2-piece physical and 2-piece elemental build, so that my Keqing has balanced damage output, so that she can transition. She can use either, or she can put to use either her physical damage or her elemental damage whenever I want her to. I want that freedom to be able to, switch from one damage type to the other whenever the situation calls for it. I may, this is going to be way later on down the road, but if I do, once I have everybody else's artifact sets, all secure and stuff, I may come back to Keqing again and, farm enough artifact sets for her so that she has, 3 separate artifact sets to play with, right? One with the balanced DPS set, as I just described, one with, a full elemental set, and one with, a full physical set, blah, 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 whatever. I want to be able to get to the point where I can just, I can afford to experiment a little and play around with Keqing's artifact sets. I'm not talking about her tits, by the way. And, see what works for her, see what I find most comfortable, most fun. But for, the 4th or 5th time, because, like I said, I love being fucking redundant, this is what she's working with. 2-piece Bloodstain, 2-piece Noblesse. Let's take a look at her artifacts a bit more closely, starting with her cup. Might as well just start with the cup every single time. This is the best electro damage cup that I can find for her. It's not too bad, all things considered, but obviously the double defense is kind of eh. That, and I believe this rolled kind of shitty, because I think at least 1 or 2 went into her defense percent. At least 1 had to have gone into her flat defense, because the crit rate has not changed. Because 3.9 is usually what you'd roll, what an artifact would roll on its initial, when you first get it to drop, or when you first farm it. And I don't think energy recharge has been buffed either, so I must have gotten unlucky on this and kept rolling defense percent and flat defense over and over and over. So the subsets could definitely be a lot better, but this is still her best electro damage cup for now. Let's see. This is Gladiators, right? Yeah, this is actually her off piece. Yeah, this is surprisingly enough. But again, this is the best off piece that I could find for her, which is attack percent with double crit and energy recharge. This one rolled pretty well actually, because I think it kept rolling into a crit damage, because that crit damage rate is not ordinary. That's a lot higher than default, that's for sure. So she has a Gladiator's a Timepiece off piece, and moving on to her Bloodstained right here. So feather is double crit rate. Too bad it didn't roll attack percent or something. I have been farming a lot more Noblesse pieces. Well, I've been farming the Noblesse and what was it called, Bloodstained dungeon. So I may have picked up another feather that's actually a lot better for her now. Maybe for example this. Or maybe even this too. Something, I'm pretty sure I could give her a replacement Bloodstained feather somewhere here. Probably won't be that hard considering I got a lot of these and I still need to go through them and look at what they have. Because I could definitely make better on this, right? With at least 3 good subsets instead of just 2. Then again, though, I think this feather rolled pretty well too, because I think it rolled once into flat HP, but the rest of its rolls went into crit rate and crit damage. So I got pretty lucky on this. So not a bad artifact, all things considered. But again, I will look for a replacement for this, or you know, maybe even forego Bloodstain for like Thundering Fury or something later on. But again, I'm not gonna make too many dramatic changes on her just yet. This is her flower that she's working with. Again, same thing with her feather, double crit rate, and I believe her crit rate rolled once. I think maybe her crit damage also rolled once too. Maybe not. I think crit damage and crit rate have different stats that they can roll initially. But definitely at least once into HP. So this didn't get too many. This didn't get the best rolls either. But that is what I'm working with right now. This one, she has attack percent. Now I did say that for circlet artifact sets, you really need to look for crit rate for most DPS types, but because Keqing already gets a lot of crit rate already, I believe. Oh no, they should get crit damage, and we want to stack as much crit rate on her as possible. Either way, somehow my Keqing already can get up to 58% crit rate. So actually, I don't feel too bad about her having an attack percent circlet, and it also has double crit and energy recharge on this too. So it could have been a lot worse. I think actually this was the artifact though that unfortunately rolled like 3 times into HP percent, 3 or 4 times towards the end. So that kind of sucked, and like only one time into crit damage. But oh well, it's still a pretty decent artifact. Just if it only didn't roll into HP like 3 or 4 times in a row. And yeah, I think that's about it for her artifacts. Constellation. When I was rolling for Child, I got spooked by Keqing. So she's now C1 actually, which is quite nice because I use her skill quite a bit, and so that increases her DPS considerably. And again, as you guys saw in the beginning when I first swapped to Keqing, all her talents are at level 5. I do plan on getting her talents, all my main rosters characters talents to higher level. I don't know how soon, but I do plan on doing that. Moving on to Dialect. So. Again, take a look at his stats. Again, pause the video if you need to. About under 40% crit rate, about 140% crit damage. I think this is decent. I think it could still be better. I mean, everything could still be better, to be fair. But I think for how recently I got into artifact farming, I think that's not bad. Energy recharge, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. Weapons. So again, just like with swords, I don't have a 5-star claymore or a 5-star two-hander, if that's what you prefer calling it. Because for like the 6th time already in this video, I didn't roll weapon banner that much. In fact, I didn't roll the weapons. What was it? I didn't roll it. I did roll the Wolf's Gravestone banner, the one that was concurrent with the Cleese banner about a month ago. But that's where I got my Lost Prayer from. I didn't get Wolf's Gravestone. So unfortunately, I don't have anything like that to work with. So literally my best option for Dialect is the prototype Animus, which you can get for free, technically. Which is a 4-star. You just need to pick up a prototype blade for him, and you got to forge it at your friendly neighborhood Wagner or whatever the guy's name is down in Liyue, who does the same thing, the blacksmith down in Liyue. So I've invested heavily into this because, like I said, this is my literal fucking best claymore option that I have in my account, and Dialect gets it because he's my best claymore user. Any questions? Didn't think so. So this is artifact sets. I've gone ahead with 4-piece Crimson Witch. I believe this is his preferred artifact set, if I am not mistaken. Start with his off piece. This was literally the only pyro damage bonus artifact that I had that was anything halfway decent. And honestly, even though it's a purple, it's actually a pretty good one, all things considered. Especially when you consider what other substats it could have rolled, and it didn't. Thank God. But again, there's always room for improvement because it's only a purple, and this could have gotten like crit rate or something instead of crit damage. But this is still my best pyro piece, so he gets it for the time being. Moving on to his Crimson Witch Timepiece. Again, he's working with double energy and attack percent. Could be better. Maybe more crit stats on that at a later time. This is his feather. Probably one of his better pieces, honestly, with double crit and energy recharge. I think it rolled like twice in HP, flat HP though, so that kind of sucks. This is his flower. Again, a pretty good artifact. I think it rolled maybe once in an energy recharge, maybe once or twice in the crit rate, at least once in the attack percent. So this actually got some pretty good rolls. So yeah, that's the flower that he's working with. And finally, the hat. I've lost my hat. Turn around, we'll pick it up. So yeah, this was the best option I had for him with crit damage. I think it was a combination of two things. One, I hadn't rolled a lot of circlets with crit rate on them that also had decent substats. So I think this was my next best option to give him. A crimson with a gold crimson with crit damage main stat, and it's actually been doing a lot of work for him. Considering that his crit rate is decent, it could be better, but you know it is good enough for now, and he gets a lot of crits that way too. Fucking crits all day with that huge crit damage modifier. It's probably this is the reason why his crit damage that you saw in his stats was so damn high. But again, the substats could be a bit better though. Yeah, I think those are his artifacts. Constellation Zero, as you might imagine. Dialect was my very first 5-star, I believe, and, unless you count the main character, of course. But I got very lucky, and I rolled him as an actual free-to-play. Believe it or not. When I rolled gacha after the 2 beginner multis for the first time, I actually lucked out. I luck-sacked hard, and I got Dialect, and he's been carrying me ever since. And once again, his talents are at level 5. Nothing more to see there. Alright, let's move on to Jean. These are her stats. So, weapons. She has Sack Sword. And I do plan on getting this to level 80 because this sword has been treating me well. Or at least on Jean. The reason why I go Sack Sword on Jean is because I use Jean as most of the time I use Jean as a support healer, right? You can use Jean as more of a hybrid DPS and healer. Because her healing scales off of attack percent, so that enables her to have a more aggressive DPS role. But because I already have a lot of other good DPSs on my team that I typically use for her or use with her, she doesn't need to be that, and she can just concentrate on just healing and all that sort of stuff. Debuff clears with her ults and whatnot. However, I also use her for yeet memes because in case you did not know, in Genshin Impact, if you yeet with Jean's E, which is her skill, and you yeet enemies straight up into the air, they will take fall damage. And fall damage is not it's not based off of Jean's attack. Maybe it is, but I know for a fact that it scales with the enemy's actual HP. So the higher world level you are, that means that Jean's yeet becomes way more effective because she's doing more. It's doing more damage. Technically it's still doing the same percentage of damage, but that obviously means that you're still doing more damage. When you apply that percentage to enemy max HPs as your world level goes higher and higher. So Jean's yeets are an easy way to somewhat cheese certain fights, or at least kill enemies faster, right? Because you can just keep yeeting them over and over. And Sack Sword, because I rely so heavily on Jean's skills, her skill, Sack Sword gives me the ability to do that twice in a row at times. Since it's at R4, it has a 70% chance to reset its own cooldown instantly the moment she uses it. So I can potentially yeet an enemy twice in a row and shave off like, a quarter of the health instantly just by fucking yeeting them up into the sky and watching them fall down like a ton of bricks. So that's the reason why I choose to use Sack Sword over something like Favonia's Sword. where crits would give her extra energy recharge. I believe that's how it works. That, and as you saw in her stats, her crit rate itself is not very high. So for those two reasons, I've dedicated Jean to using a sack sword instead, and it's been treating me very well for the reasons I mentioned. So I do plan on getting this sword to level 80 sooner or later because it's been treating me that well. Artifacts. So she uses 2-piece Maiden, 2-piece Veer. And again, the reasons for this is because I use Jean. My playstyle with Jean is more of a support healer type, not necessarily a DPS or even a support DPS type. So I don't really have a need to give her like all the attack bonuses in the world, right? Because she's not really attacking much with her auto attacks. Sometimes I'll bust out her auto attacks, but that's only when, you know, it doesn't really matter by that point. Like maybe there's like only one more enemy left I need to deal with whenever I'm farming artifact dungeons, blah blah blah. So I decided to go with 2-piece Maidens for more healing effectiveness, and of course the anemia damage for her ult when it does damage. So let's check out her off piece. This off piece is probably the best piece that I have in my entire account, with a Nemo damage bonus and flat attack, double crit, and energy recharge. This again, just like with Mona's cup, which is right here. These two cups I actually got like very early on into my artifact farming progress, and yeah, I'm very lucky to have gotten these two cups so early as I did. So because that means that both my Mona and my Jean both have reliable artifacts from which they can derive a lot of their damage. So very happy for these two. This is one hell of an artifact. Let's see. Moving on to the right here for her timepiece. She has attack percent, which is ideal, and double energy. Could be better for the substats, but it is good enough for now. Especially with how little time I've put into farming Viridescent artifacts in the first place. Let's see. This is her feather, Maiden's Feather, double crit with energy, Elemental Mastery. The Elemental Mastery stat is a little bit useless here because I don't believe Jean really creates a lot of elemental reactions. So yeah, it kind of sucks. But for all intents and purposes, with the way I use Jean, she doesn't really put Elemental Mastery to use, I don't think. So unless I'm wrong, you guys can feel free to correct me in the comments. But she has double crit, and that's what matters. Now, this fucking piece. So, there's a backstory to this. When I was rolling, when I finally decided on 2-piece Maiden, 2-piece Veer on stream, because I built a lot of these artifact sets on stream, if not all of them. When it came time for me to enhance all of Jean's artifacts, once I locked in with them, and it was like, hey, okay, I'm gonna use these artifacts with her, and I'm gonna level them up to plus 20. When it came time to leveling this fucking artifact, let me tell you, it rolled Penta Energy Recharge. I think at the time of this video recording, you can still go back and find the VOD where I actually rolled Penta Energy Recharge. I should have done this earlier now that I think about it, but I may go back and and clip out the part of that stream where I actually rolled 5 energy recharges in a row, because this stat, I know for a fact that this flower started out as a 3-line, and then it got energy recharge as its new line, and then it rolled 4 times more into that same energy recharge, which is why it's at a ridiculous 33%. So this piece is literally like a piece and a half, an artifact and a half, with how much it rolled into fucking energy recharge. So that was kind of hilarious. This means that Jean gets her ult back pretty quickly. I think it probably takes like one less E usage or one less skill usage on average to get her ult back, which is, you know, it'll make a difference at one point. But yeah, it's kind of hilarious that she has this. All things considered, this set would be a great off piece actually for Mona, because Mona actually scales off of energy recharge, but that would kind of break her artifact sets at the moment, so I can't really do that. But in any case, yeah, that's the story behind the energy recharge 33% as a substat. It's quite funny. All right, and a circlet with attack percent and double crit. Again, ideally, I would like to have given her a crit percent, but again, it's not the worst thing in the world because again, Jean's healing scales off her attack, and obviously, in fact, for Jean, and with the way I use her and how I don't really use auto attacks with her that often, you know, crit rate percent on a circlet probably isn't the highest priority. Like, it definitely, if you wanted to run a more DPS Gene, or use an aggressive Gene style, which is more or less saying the same thing, then definitely you would look for a crit rate circlet somewhere. But for my purposes, it's not so bad because I don't really use her as main DPS. In fact, hardly at all, unless I want to go for like yeet memes. But I don't think fall damage relies on your character's attack percent. Maybe it does actually. I don't know. I'll have to test it on myself. Oh, sorry. No, we don't go out. We're not onto Venti just yet. Need to go take a look at Jean's constellations and whatnot. So Jean is also at C1. I believe I got spooked by her on Child's Banner as well. So now she has her E is buffed significantly by 40%. So that's cool. I actually would like a another Jean spook, because then it means that I can get her C2, and her C2 buffs attack speed for the entire party. And I believe in Genshin Impact, attack speed is kind of a rare buff. Like, I'm sure other characters have it, some other characters do have it, but it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. So anything that can increase attack speed is very much so welcome, even if it's by 15%. 15% you can notice that, and it's for 15 seconds, which is for a long time. So that is something that I definitely look forward to if in case I do get lucky and get a Jean spook sometime along the way. And of course, her talents are all level 5. All right, now on to Venti. God, this video is like 40 minutes long already. Jesus, how many of you guys are still watching this? Anyways, these are his stats. These are Venti's stats. Kind of a flimsy boy. He is not thick at all. But hey, his crit rate's pretty good. Okay. Weapons. So, he also uses sack bow. As you can tell, I'm kind of a big fan of the sacrificial gear set. For the same reason as, or for a very similar reason as Jean, because I've rolled a lot of sack bows, so it's at R5 now. And at R5, now sack bow has an 80% chance to reduce its own cooldown every 16 seconds, and that's huge. Because almost every time he uses E, he resets it instantly. And he can spam it twice. And being able to spam it twice basically means he gets double the energy recharge in one go. And that's extremely important, because, at least for me, because that means I can spam Venti's ult with impunity. Or at least, you know, be able to do that more easily. So, I like this a lot. I like it a lot. Maybe, now that my chat has taught me the merits of Favonius gear sets with their higher base energy recharge stats and whatnot, and their synergy with crits and whatnot, and especially since my Venti has a very high crit rate at the moment at over 50%. I am maybe considering giving him testing out with like Favonius. Favonius Warbow, because it's the Favonius set. And I'll see how differently he works, but for now I'm still very comfortable with sack bow. That, and another reason why I like the sack bow is because since he resets his skill instantly, right? That means that not only does it mean double the energy recharge, but it also means double the damage because you use his skill twice in a row. Same with Jean. Another reason, a reason that I didn't mention back when I was talking about Jean's sack sword. But this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm comfortable with. I'll probably get this to level 80 as well, before I try out, before I start leveling Favonius Warbow and seeing how that works. And maybe I'll prefer Favonius if I take it out for a test run, see how it performs. But for now, this is what he's got. Artifacts, your favorite. So he's working with a 4-piece Veer, because I believe he puts 4-piece Veer to use, and I think this is his go-to artifact set. Why else did you use anything else? So start with his off piece as usual. This is the best off piece that I could find for him. Kind of crappy substats, but hey, at least it has energy recharge and crit rate. along with the enable damage bonus main stat. Kind of funny how I got off a Crimson Witch though, but it's an off piece, so hey, who the fuck cares? His timepiece, double crit, the important part, and along with attack percent. This rolled a lot into crit damage, so it has a thick attack crit damage substat, which is very nice considering that Venti's crit rate, base crit rate, is already very high to begin with. So I'm actually very happy that this piece rolls so much into a crit damage. This is his feather, crit damage again with EM and attack percent. This is his flower, double crit with an energy recharge this time. And his circlet with the thick crit rate buff and crit damage, along with attack percent. Again, of course, ideally, I would have liked, one of these defenses to be like energy recharge, element of mastery, something like that. But it is good enough for now. And yeah, those are his artifact sets. Constellation C1. I wasn't really interested in getting Venti to higher constellations, and in fact, with how I use him, since this only really applies to his aim shots, he may as well be C0 because I hardly ever use his aim shots. Like shotgun Venti is not really a thing that I do with him, and I don't plan on using any like aimed archer builds at all for the time being anyway. So he's gonna forever stay at C0 unless MiHoYo decides to drop another Venti raid up at some point in the future, and I decide, hey, I guess I'll go roll more Ventis, because I know he becomes very good with or he becomes even stronger with his higher constellation levels. But I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really care too much about constellations. At least for the limiteds, because I just don't have the money to chase for C6, unlike some people. So he will stay at C1, effectively C0. There you go. That's his build. All right, now Child. We're going into uncharted territory, where their artifact sets are still a work in progress. So work with me here. Bear with me. Tartaglia. I mean, I won't even bother showing you his stats because he doesn't have a built artifact set yet, as I'll show you right after we go over his weapons. So I was actually able to roll a stringless. I know the stringless is not the best weapon for him, but it's still useful for him. Like it still lets him do his job. And I plan to use Child or Tartaglia or Pop Tart, as Mr. Slice calls him, as more of a support burst type of character. I want to use him as like, oh hey, I need to deal with like Pyro Whopper Flowers or anybody on the Pyro floor in Abyss. It's like, okay, well pull out my Pop Tart and have him pop his skill, and he just goes to town riptiding people to death. That's how I want to use him. And when he uses his ult, I swap out to other characters, and their ults are buffed as well. So you can imagine what kind of artifacts that I've got on him. So. But for now, stringless is like literally the best bow option that I've got on him, because again, I don't have any 5-star bows. I would give him like the prototype compound bow, or it's not called prototype compound bow. You can make it from a prototype at the forge. But yeah, my fish is using it because I think fish puts it to use a little bit better. But this is what I'm working with right now. So his artifact sets, again, this is still a very much still a work in progress, as you can see by their non-existent levels. But let me explain to you what I'm working with here and why. So, like I said, he's got 4-piece noblesse, and for the reason that I stated, I want to use him more as a support burst type of character. And yeah, that's why he's got 4-piece noblesse. If we want to take a look at his artifacts further in, this is off-piece actually, a circlet, because I want to give him crit rate. More crit rate is always nice. For now, this is not the best, obviously, because it doesn't have attack percent, it doesn't have crit damage. It only has double energy and fucking flat defense and flat HP, which are trash. I would like to find for him a better crit rate circlet. Would be very nice, but again, that may take some time. But that's the idea that for a circlet that I've got going for Mr. Pop Tart here. This is his silver urn, or this is his cup, with higher damage bonus, obviously. I did get very lucky on this one because originally this artifact started out as a 3-liner. As you can see, it's +4, so I rolled for it. I enhanced a little bit to see what it rolled, and luckily for me, it rolled crit rate. So now this is actually pretty usable, assuming it doesn't roll 4 more times the either, you know, defense or flat defense or HP, because that would fucking suck. So I'm hoping for some good rolls into crit rate, at least crit damage, if not crit rate. Just not the first 2, right? But at the very least, this makes this artifact usable. So I'm pretty happy about that. Unless of course, you know, at some point I get a better Noblesse Cup that has better substats and higher damage bonus, but I'm not counting on that. It's already rare enough as it is rolling, you know, artifacts, cups with like the exact, you know, elemental damage % that you're looking for, on top of having halfway decent substats. This is a Timepiece, a Noblesse Timepiece, attack %. It at least has crit rate, so I might be able to live with this. But I also want to I also want to look for a better Timepiece for him at some point, with, you know, not just crit rate, but also crit damage, double energy, that sort of stuff. You know the drill. This is his feather. This feather is actually pretty decent with a double crit and an energy recharge, so that's not bad. Same thing with his flower. Crit damage. Kind of wish I were crit rate, but I'll take crit damage, considering he already has a circlet that has, you know, crit rate main stat. Some more energy recharge and attack % this time, so not bad. But yeah, they're all still at +0 for some of them, +4 for the others. So I do plan on getting the. Actually, no. I just changed my mind. I'll hang off on leveling these artifacts to +20 until I've given Noblesse dungeon farming a few more days worth of resin refreshes, and I'll see what I can replace some of his artifacts with then, and see if I can get anything better. But that's the idea of an artifact set that I that I have in store for him, because I want to use him at least somewhat seriously, because he's C4. Haha. So much for me saying that, oh no, I don't care about extra constellations and 5 stars, Keck W. Oh yeah, I say that while casually having a C4 child. I can actually explain a little bit of this, even if you won't believe me, but I rolled a little bit extra on Child's Banner, because I was actually looking for a Chi-Chi spook, because I'm kind of a collector EX type of dude who wants all the characters in the game, and so yeah, I was kind of hoping and praying for a Chi-Chi spook. She didn't show up. Instead, I got Kuching and Jean, which, hey, I'll take it. I'll take them. But yeah, I kind of wanted Chi-Chi. So yeah, he kind of got to C4 along the way. I believe I've been told that C4 is actually his optimal constellation, because he becomes really fucking strong at C4. So, well, at C4, right, I have to put him to use, right? Otherwise, he's going to be sitting here collecting dust. And he's level 80 as well with the level 80 weapons. So, yeah, I do want to work on an artifact set for him. Make sure he's got something to work with. Oh, and of course, his talents are at least level 5. They look, his first skill is at level 6. And his first skill, he only has one skill. His normal attack, his first talent is at level 6. And his second talent is at level 8, because his master weaponry passive automatically boosts his normal talent by 1 level, as it does for everybody else in the party, and this is boosted by 3 levels because of his constellations. So, just wanted to make that clear. Oops, didn't mean to exit out of there. Ooh, God, this video is gonna be well over an hour and a half long. Holy fuck, dude. Maybe this was a mistake. It's okay. All right, moving on to Klee. Okay, Klee, you're very cute, we know. Again, these are not her final stats because her artifacts are garbage at the moment. Well, I should say garbage, but they just haven't gotten any enhancement levels on them, so it's not really worth going over them when they're not indicative of the final product. But I did give her a Lost Prayer, so even though I didn't get Wolf's Gravestone from the weapon banner that ran alongside her banner, Klee's limited banner, that is, I did get Lost Prayer, and she's my best caster type character in the game to give it to, so she's got this to work with. It's very strong, actually, with a very high base attack and a thick crit rate, so she's got something to work with, along with its, ability there. Artifacts. So, Currently I'm running 2-piece Crimson, 2-piece Exile. I want to replace the Exile with something else. I know that there are better artifact sets that I could give her. I had to give her, because I gave her these 2 random ass Exile pieces because I needed something to give to her so that I could use her somewhat decently in Abyss, because over the weekend at the over last weekend at the time of this video recording, the Abyss dungeons was about to reset. So I was like, ah, shit, I just gotta give her something, right? So she isn't doing complete potato damage. So I was like, you know what? I'll just give her these old, Exile pieces that I have lying around. Which, to be fair, they're actually not bad. Now that I think about it, yeah, the subsets aren't the worst. It's just that maybe they could have been a little bit better than just Exile 2-piece. But hey, man, for the time constraint that I was under, I'll fucking take it. But in any case. Those 2, we'll just ignore the Exile pieces for now because these are definitely placeholders. I want to replace these as soon as possible, even if their stats are, at least somewhat decent. This is our off piece. Yeah, because it has attack percent, EM, and double crit. Honestly, with how learned how to craft mint. What the fuck? Oh, it's because it's reset. It's daily reset time. Anyways. Yeah, as I was saying, I don't think EM is going to be very useful on my Klee because my Klee is only C0, as I'll show you later on. So she doesn't have the ability to like pop her ult, and then if you switch to another character, it doesn't go away. I actually don't know how that works. Maybe it does go away still, and no amount of constellations will help you. Will change that. But at my Klee, it's clear to me anyway that, or with my own Klee anyway, it's clear to me that. When I use her ult, like I can't switch to another character. So how useful is Elemental Mastery really gonna be there, right? Unless I have like unless I use another skill or ult that's persistent, like maybe Beto's ult or something like that. So she's definitely not gonna be able to put her Elemental Mastery to use all that much. At least not with her ult. Maybe with her normal attacks and her skills, maybe. So maybe it's not a total waste, but. I would like to look for something a little bit better. Maybe at least energy recharge. I mean, it's still this artifact is still decent as it is, but on Klee, we'll see. This one has attack percent and double energy. I would like that if it has like crit or something. I think Klee really would like a lot of crits. I think, but then again, she's using Lost Prayer, which already has a lot of base crits, so maybe she doesn't need too much on her artifacts. Her flower, this is at plus 11. I wonder why I didn't take it to plus 12. Oh, I know why. It's probably because I ran out of fucking artifact fodder at the time I was enhancing this. But this one, I guess it's okay. It's got attack percent and crit damage at least. But yeah, maybe something other than flat attack and defense percent. And so yeah, I don't know. At the moment, I haven't really given Klee's artifacts too much thought. After I'm done building Pop-Tarts, artifact set, I'll focus on maybe Klee and see what kinds of artifact sets I want to play around with on her, and be able to build something good for her. Either I don't know if she'll benefit from 4-piece Crimson actually, or whatever. I've been told some people have told me to go 4-piece Lava Walker, but I've gotten a lot of mixed responses to that. Like some people really like it, some other people really fucking hate it. I'll have to be the judge of that at the end of the day. But again, Klee's artifact set is very much so a work in progress. And as you can see, her constellations are still at C0. And she will be like this for the foreseeable future unless, again, just like with Venti, Miho decides to drop a random-ass Klee limited rerun banner at some point in the future. And of course, the talent's at level 5. Alright, Fish. Again, I don't know if it's worth showing you her stats because her artifact sets are garbage and still work in progress. But this is the weapon she's working with at least. Compound bow, like I mentioned earlier when I was going over Pop-Tart's weapon. Has a huge physical damage percent modifier actually. It's really beefy. Super fucking thick. So, and this weapon actually increases attack speed, which I really appreciate. And that just increases Fish's DPS all that much more. I do eventually want to run a hybrid DPS / turret support Fish because both her attack speed with compound bow, her attack speed just goes through. Well, it doesn't go through the roof, but you can definitely notice, at least with compound bow, how much faster she shoots, or how much faster she attacks. So because of her bow, I do want to field her as a half support or half DPS, half Oz support, where she just pops her ult or turret. They're basically the same thing at the end of the day, and help the rest of the team. So for this one, I've decided to go 2-piece Glad and 2-piece Thundering. I think that's the artifact set if you want to run a hybrid DPS fish. So this is her off piece. Again, these fucking artifacts are very much so a work in progress. I haven't even enhanced this just to see what its fourth stat is. So yeah. But this is her off piece with the Thunder Soother off piece, Timepiece. God, that's a lot of pieces. But this is her feather with double crit. I'll have to see what it rolls as fourth line though. This is her gladiator feather with double energy and attack percent. Ideally, it should have got this defense. A flat defense should have been crit rate, but you know, beggars can't be choosers again. This was the only crit rate gladiator piece that I could find for fish, and honestly, it's not that bad as long as it doesn't roll a shitty fucking fourth line. Maybe like what, attack percent or something. So I'm hoping for that. At least elemental mastery, but nothing else. But yeah, that's what I would like. Hopefully I can farm some better gladiator pieces, like a gold one specifically. When I farm more like world bosses or elite bosses, but we'll see. The jury is still out on that one. And here's the second Thundering Fury piece with electro damage. Again, very shitty artifact because this only has 2, but this was my only like actually like serviceable electro damage cup, or like a cup artifact that actually rolled electro damage and didn't roll anything crap. You know, at least it has something going for it with crit rate. But obviously, I want to replace this on her too. C6, obviously, because she's a 4-star. That, and we got a copy of her for free from the last event. And her talents, also at level 5. No surprises there. Alright, Beidou. So, she is the next character that I want to seriously work on artifacts for. I know I've been talking a lot about, like, trying to work on Klee's artifacts, trying to work on Tartaglia's artifacts, but Beidou's the one that I last left off on working on. And I'll show you guys why. I'll show you the details a little bit just to see what she's kind of working with, but again, her artifact set is still, again, very much so a work in progress. Alright, stop drinking, Beidou. This is her weapon. So, originally, let me give you a little bit of backstory. Originally, Rain Slash, I got Rain Slasher at the beginning of the game, and no, not at the beginning of the game. Sorry, I got it when I started whaling, so about a week or two into me playing Genshin. So ever since then, Rain Slasher was literally my best option as far as claymores go, as far as claymores went. So my Dialect actually uses Rain Slash for a long period of time until my chat was like, hey, you should check out Prototype Animus. You can make it now. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I did. And I was like, oh, thanks, chat. It's a lot better. But so, yeah, when I got Beidou finally very recently with Child's Banner, because I think she wasn't rated with Child's Banner, I passed on the Rain Slash to her. Now, upon building artifacts, my chat again helped me out and was like, "Hey, we think you should, with how you want to play Beidou, which is as again very similar to Pop Tart. I want to use Beidou as a DPS support because I don't really plan on using her for her auto combos because I already have Dialect for that, right?" But instead, I want to use it for her parries, use it for her ult, like charge up her ult and then pop her ult and switch to somebody else so I can so I can create mass elemental reactions because you can use Beidou's ult, and if you switch to Mona, because at short range, where within Beidou's ult range, where it can shock other people, Mona basically keeps making electric charge elemental reactions over and over and over. So there's some really good synergy between those two there. So because of that, because of my chat, I was like, okay, then maybe you should use Favonia's Greatsword. And like I said, because I'm a huge fanboy of the sacrificial gear set, I was like, well, why not just use sacrificial Greatsword instead, right? Because I know how these work. You know, I'm used to that, right? But my chat was like, nah, we think you should use Favonia's Greatsword. I was like, and after some thought, I was like, okay, maybe you guys are right. So I decided to commit to giving her basically leveling up my Favonia's Greatsword, which I'll do later today, because technically today is the day that I can farm for materials for this thing. And one of the biggest reasons why that tipped me over was because of the way I use Beidou with charging her ult up as quickly as possible. I want to have a lot of energy recharge on her. And the sacrificial gear sets, I believe, has less base energy recharge to make up for the fact that it can potentially let you double up on your skill. But because of that, Favonius, because it doesn't have the whole reset your skill thing, its base energy recharge is actually higher, so she gets more out of each skill usage. So that's what I'm looking for. So I decided to agree with chat and give her Favonius. It's only level 20, but again, I'll take some time to get it leveled, get up to level 80, and we'll see how Beidou fares then. So that's that. Artifacts. So her artifacts are now set in stone. I'm not going to change this because I think this is her final, as you can tell, because I've gotten these two plus 20. But her noblesse pieces can still use some work. I'll start off by showing you her Thundering Fury pieces first. This is her TF Feather with double crit and energy recharge. This is pretty good. I believe it rolled a couple times into crit rate and energy recharge. So this rolled actually pretty damn well. Maybe once into crit damage as well, so it's even better. At least it didn't roll into flat defense at all. That much I know, and I'm sure you guys can tell too. This is our flower with, again, double crit and energy recharge, but again with defense percent this time. I think it may have rolled once or twice. I actually don't know. Is 12.4% like a one roll, or like it didn't roll at all? I'm not sure. But I know for a fact that it rolled energy recharge and crit rate a couple times, because those don't look like starting numbers. Oh, maybe crit rate, for sure crit rate. I'm actually not sure about energy recharge. Maybe energy recharge. I don't know. But her Thundering Fury pieces are definitely very, very solid. Could be better, but I'm very happy with them for now. Now, her two-piece noblesse pieces, these ones can use some work. This is her best electro damage cup that I have for the time being. It only has crit damage and EM. EM is not bad, obviously, because of how I want to use her with her ult paired with another character who can cause mass elemental reactions, like I mentioned with Mona. So yeah, I'm on the lookout for a better electro damage percent cup. Ideally, noblesse. Ideally. I could maybe swap this out to be an off piece and maybe change this to be noblesse, but that requires me to roll to farm a crit rate noblesse circlet, which that's gonna be fucking rare. So I feel like it's better for me to hope to roll another electro damage bonus percent noblesse cup with better substats. But then again, either or, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Did I go over her off piece yet? And if not, then here are the stats with crit damage, double energy, and crit rate percent. At least this one isn't so bad. In fact, this one's actually pretty good because it has all the stats that Beidou would want. Well, except for like attack percent, but obviously, just roll a perfect artifact, forehead. It's so easy. Anyways, this is her timepiece. This is the best noblesse timepiece I could find for her with attack percent. Honestly, in all honesty, did I just say that twice? Fuck me, it's getting late. It's actually not that bad as far as substats go, but obviously I can do better. Replace these last two substats with something else. Like if it didn't roll a flat defense and it rolled like crit damage, it would have been perfect, or like energy recharge at least. But oh well. At least it's got crit rate and EM, so hopefully it rolls a little bit more into those. So yeah, like I said, I want to farm noblesse artifacts a little bit more to see if I can get these replaced with some better ones. If not, then I'll just go ahead and get these artifacts as plus 20 so that Beidou has something to work with, and at least a complete artifact set that isn't trash. And I can always come back to her artifact set and make it better later. She's at C5. funny story about when I was rolling for Beto. When I was rolling for more Beto copies, I was also actually rolling for more Ningguang copies because I want to use Ningguang too, because now she has a 5-star catalyst that I rolled for her off of the Skyward Heart banner last month. And yeah, I got C13 or C14 or whatever the fuck Ningguang and C5 Beto. That was cool. So she's kind of missing her last constellation. I actually don't know how good this is. It might be pretty good considering that I know now how her ult works. But I'm just gonna wait for Beto to show up during Paimon's bargain shop and exchange for her with like the Masterless Star Glitter stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. I could also just be straight up spooked at some point. So either or, whichever comes first. And so, yeah, I think that's it for my serious... Oh, by the way, talents are level 5. And so, yeah, that's all the characters I'll be showing, like, in-depth like that. Obviously, if I wanted to do that, keep doing that, this video would literally be 2 hours long! And I don't want to do that. You guys, I've already wasted enough of your time as it is. Imagine making a Whales Log video that's over an hour long! Holy fuck! Even I'm malding. But yeah, let me just briefly go over the rest of the characters and my plans for them. Xiangling is level 80. She doesn't have an artifact set yet. Well, she does, but I just kind of randomly threw these on her for no real reason. Oh yeah, it was to complete a one of those challenges in the Adventurer's Handbook. It was like, oh, equip like a or 4-piece artifact on at least 2 characters or whatever the fuck that was. So yeah, ignore these artifacts. They don't really mean anything on her. But yeah, I do have her... Do I have her talents at level 5? Yeah, her talents are at level 5. She's C6. And her Crescent Pike is level 80. So you can tell I've been steadily, slowly but surely building up Xiangling so I can finally use her. And I do plan on using her. Because I do know that she's a very good damage support. I believe, right? Or at least she at least has the ability to put out a lot of fire damage out there with her ult. And her teddy bear, Guoba, I think his name is. That I also want to make a video on her, which I will make later, hopefully, sooner rather than later. But yeah, I do want to give an artifact set to Xiangling because I do want to use her as a damage support. Yeah, haha. What are these random fucking artifacts that you have on? Fucking get rid of these. Oh boy, these are fucking relics of my scrub days as a guy who didn't know what the fuck he was doing in Genshin Impact. Smile. But anyways, I like Lumen. I like the main character. I unironically like her. Because I played free to play. Unironically, take a shot for every time I say the word unironically. Since I played as a free to play. A legit free-to-play for the first week or so, I got used to how the main character plays, or at least Lumen, because I like Lumen. She's cute, and she's voiced by Yuki Aoi in the Japanese dub, and I really like her. Her voice actress, that is. Too bad she doesn't talk as much in the actual story. But I do also want to seriously use her though. I kind of want to use all the characters in this game seriously, just so because this game is fun. And I have a lot of fun learning how characters work and how they fight and whatnot, how they play. But yeah, I also have her at level 70. Hopefully, I'll be able to get her more levels later on down the road. Barbara, I also have her at level 70. She's been really helping me out in at least Abyss floors, all the way up to 11. Now that I'm at a level floor 12, obviously I need to look for another healer to work with, because Barbara is not ideal for that, and I don't need to explain why, I don't think. So yeah, but she has really saved my ass in a couple of the lower Abyss floors, so I'm really grateful for her. That, and she was before I rolled Jean, she was my only actual healer. So I do owe a lot to Barbara. Maybe one day I'll be able to build her seriously. Ningguang, also another character that I want to level to, that I want to get to 80 ASAP, because she is now not only is she C6, but her Memory of Dust is this is basically the best weapon that I have for her, and it's one of the only 2 fucking 5-star weapons that I have on my account. And guess what? Both of them are fucking catalysts. So yeah, that's quite awkward. Oh, and what do you know? Her memory dust also takes materials that are only available today. God damn it. That means I have to farm both this and whatever the hell else I want to fucking farm. What was it again? Oh yeah, Favonia's greatsword for Beto. God damn it. I guess I'll have to focus my resources on one of these for today, and then whenever Saturday shows up, I'll have to work on that over the weekend. But yeah, I've seen how Ningguang plays, and she looks very fun. She's basically a shotgun. She's basically a shotgun. So yeah, I feel like her playstyle is going to be very fun when we get around to that. She has no artifacts, but eventually I want to work on her artifacts and get her to the point where I can use her seriously. But of course, I have to get to level 80 and get her memory dust up to par as well. So yeah, but I do plan to use Ningguang very seriously, because again, she's at C6 and she's got a decent weapon on her that is basically really good on her, and probably not on very many other people. So yeah. As for the others, the only notable one that I have on my radar to level up quickly is Diona. I know she's only level 1 at the moment. Yeah, she's only level 1. But after I'm done working on some other characters and their artifact sets, I really want to pump Diona's levels. No, what? I am not talking about what you think I'm talking about. Kana police? Hello? FBI, open up? Anyways. So yes, I want to get her up to level 80. And give her work on her talents and whatnot, because I just recently got her, obviously with Pop-Tart Spanner. But yes, I know how powerful she is. I know how useful she is, especially on Abyss 12, especially against the Fatui guys, or the Fadui guys, however you say their freaking names. And she's C6 too, so there's no reason not to use her. Smile. And she's got, like a decent bow on her. I actually don't know what the best bow for Diona is. Is it Favonius Warbow? I'll have to look that up. But yeah, she's basically after the ones who are already a little bit leveled up. She's the next one that I want to level up along with them to become part of the Abyss teams. So in fact, I could do that right now after I'm done recording this. But that is still out for that is still out to the jury. How does that phrase go again? Fuck, my English sucks. But yeah, Diona is the only character that I have any actual urgent interest in leveling. Okay, what else can I show you? Let's go to our inventory real quick. So I think I've showed you guys my weapons. You guys get the idea. Like, these suck. I only have two 5-star weapons. Most of them, and other than these two, only one of which I even use anywhere at all. Like Memory of Dust, I haven't even used even once on a Ningguang yet. Because other than these two, I've just been relying on mostly purple artifacts. That's what 4 stars. I've already shown you guys my artifacts. Do I even show you my... do you guys even care about this? Like, I farm a lot of shit, I guess. Yeah, well, what else to show? I guess I can show you the mineral stash that I've been building up, because some people seem to care about this whenever I streamed. So, I have this much crystals, I guess. You can tell I've been doing my magical ore runs every day, ever since they came out. I don't know what these are. Whatever these are, I think those are just these are just quest material, memorial quests or whatever, or memorial items or whatnot. Oh, so about these, I should really use some of these boxes. I mean, they're here for a reason, right? Probably use these on Ningguang or any of the characters that don't have level 80 yet, or even characters who I plan to get to 90 actually. Maybe I should save these for Mona actually. Yeah, that actually sounds like a better idea. Save these for Mona instead. But anyways, I used to have 75 frag resins, because like almost every other Genshin whale, I too used to hoard fragile resins. However, I only saved them because I was like, okay, maybe there's an event that we're gonna get where using frag resin is actually going to be useful, right? Oh, like say there's going to be like a dedicated farming event, and where like, hey, you can, since frag resins bypass your daily resin refresh if you want to refresh with Prima Gems, right? We can just use these that we stockpiled, and be able to farm whatever the event, this theoretical farming event is, to our heart's content. Well, we're already like a month and a half in the game. We haven't gotten an event like that. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not really too interested in hoarding these. I'll just fucking use them. So I spent, I think over the past week, over Thanksgiving weekend, I burned through over half of it. Because like I said, I started with 75. Now I'm down to 34. So you can do the math on how many I've used. So yeah, using all those frag resins has really helped speed up my artifact farming, because without using those frag resins, like for example, Gene and Venti would definitely not have the artifact sets as they do now. So they've really given me a big boost, so to say, both in my AR progress, like my AR levels, because using all those frag resins got me from like 49 to like 50 a lot faster than I normally would have been able to, and you know, obviously the jump in artifact power as well, getting better artifacts, leveling those better artifacts, so on and so forth. So yeah, I do plan on using my frag resin until I go down to like about 20. I just don't know when I'll be using them. But I think around 20 frag resin for me is going to be a safe number, quote in quotes, so that just in case we do get an event where, hey, it's actually worth farming these, because they give you something worth farming that it's worth using frag resins for, then I can use that emergency stash of 20 frag resins to at least be able to farm out that kind of event, to at least some degree, instead of just, you know, burning it all on fucking artifact farming. But we'll see if that event even ever, you know, shows up in the first place. Because yeah, I just don't like the idea of like sitting on a potential resource like this, because this is just wasted AR levels, wasted potentially new artifacts, new good artifacts that I could have gotten, right? So I'd rather use them and put them to good use, rather than just let them sit around on my account and collect dust all day. And I think that's about it that I can really show you guys. Yeah. Wow, this fucking video is almost an hour and a half long. Holy fuck. I apologize for making this video so fucking long. I don't know why any of you guys who started out watching this video in the very beginning would still be here. For those of you lunatics who are still here, again, I'm sorry for making this video so long, but I did warn you that this video was going to be very long because it's the first one, and just given how Genshin works as a game, right? And I had to show you all these different kinds of things. Yeah, for the third or fourth time, you should have known. But either way, thanks for putting up with me for the past hour and a half. This is what I've got got to work with, and I plan to do this kind of series every month. So it's going to be like a monthly series, right? Because like I said in the very beginning, I wanted to make this series to track my progress, my Genshin account progress, and so that we can watch my account grow together. If that's what you're interested in, I guess. That and to flex, of course, because I'm a whale. What do you want from me? But yeah, that will be the end of this video. I hope you enjoy this kind of video. Like I said in the beginning, I've done this for 2 other games, FGO and Arknights, and people seem to like the FGO one. So I decided, you know what, I'll do this for Genshin as well. I didn't do this in the first month because I was still hesitating on whether or not I would actually want to make a video series like this. But with how dedicated, with how invested I am into Genshin now, like there's no reason for me not to do this anymore. So again, some of you guys may have seen this coming, which, if you have, then pat yourself on the back. You truly have Clairvoyance EX. Not really though. Don't kid yourselves. You're still plebs. But that'll do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble on and on and on for the past hour and a half. I hope I was still able to entertain you somehow. But other than that, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next month. Goodbye. Oh, and look forward to more Genshin videos on my channel very, very soon.